The very first thing that can be done to help change this meta and to make it a more enjoyable playing experience for literally everybody, including yourself, is to make man coverage consistent. I'm going to tell you why this is a big thing, and it's something I've harped on quite a bit. Decreasing the amount of RNG in competitive games is across the board seen as a good thing in esports. Less RNG means less randomness, long story short, which typically means that the better player will win, which is really good for an esport, which is what we're trying to actively build up here, okay? So making man coverage more consistent against what routes it plays well and what routes it does not play well. That will do a huge thing for the game, but additionally, adding those routes that man coverage does not do well against into more playbooks. I'm currently playing a ton of NCAA 14, a lot of fun. These playbooks are insane. Now, I don't know if any of the routes are good. I don't even care. I'm not playing it to be like a sweat at it. But I don't know if any, like, the depth of the playbooks are crazy. And now, I mean, we have playbooks that have formation, but the majority of formations can't be used at any sort of high level, which, while I think only the game's in a weird spot right now because the only things that consistently beat man is like 2 different routes, and even those can be iffy, or if you get your guys like bumping into each other, which it's not like a rub route like IRL or a pick play like IRL. It's literally, hey, this route against man coverage, if you ran it 10 times, if you ran this route combo against man coverage 10 times, let's say 4 times he gets open, 3 times 4 times he gets open just naturally, like he just beats him, right? 3 times they bump into each other. Twice out of those times, the receiver gets open once he falls down. And then the other whatever amount of times, the defender just bags the play. It's just random. And it's such an extreme amount of randomness that is, I think it's why so many people are infuriated playing the game online. And I've been doing this for a while now. Like, I've been able to tell what games people like and what games people don't like, and kind of what some of the underlying issues or like things behind those games are. And one of the reasons Madden 21 was so widely enjoyed by a lot of people is that even though, and mind you, I didn't like the man coverage meta. I hate man coverage metas. I think they're very bad for the game. But it was consistent. For the most part, there were route combos that beat man coverage in that game 100% of the time. Every single time you'd be able to beat man coverage. Now, it was hard to learn, and the bench press meta, it was a totally different beast. But there are things to be able to do that. Right now, not only is the game from a playbook and play calling standpoint really bland, and there's just not much creativity that you can have besides, unless you just want to ag every play, which is not what I want to do and not what you guys want to watch. It's running a couple different formations, which it is every year, but it's not even routes that they're not even getting open like that. It's the easiest offensive Madden ever. Probably not ever. It's probably not as easy as last year. Last year's Madden was terrible, but it's one of the easiest offensive Maddens in recent history. But at the same time, you never know if a route's open or if a route's gonna be open. And the way the game's played, some people make the argument of like, yeah, you should sit there and make the read, and there is some merit to that, but the fact of the matter is, the issue with that argument of, oh, it shouldn't be consistent, you should have to make the read, is that if me and you have all the same players, same plays, same everything across the board, me and you, and my guy happens to beat his dude 8 out of 10 times, and your guy happens to beat his dude only 4 out of 10 times, then I'm at an extreme advantage. And if we're the same skill level, that's BS, especially when there's hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table like there is in competitive Madden. And we're trying to make this into a competitive esport where it's actually on the big stage, which, mind you, we're on ESPN sometimes. We have a decent viewing base, honestly. We don't get enough credit for some of that stuff, but I digress. It's just such a big deal for me. I think playbooks are such a cool thing inside the game. I think it increases replayability of the game a ton. Last year even, obviously Bunch Tight End was my baby, but I was able to make high-level schemes out of normal Y close, out of, what else did we do? We did a couple things. I'm trying to really think. Tight Y off was another one, and then single back deuce close as well. We all had pretty high-level schemes out of all of those. Probably something else too. Those trips tight end as well. And it's like, now you just can't. It feels like, unless you're running a couple of formations, I'll run them, and in my head I'm like, wow, I am at a huge disadvantage running this right now. And it's like, well, why would I do, like, what's the point in doing that to yourself? I've always been, if you ever watch all my, my videos in the past talking about how to be off meta, right? I've talked about it has to make sense. It has to make sense. And by making sense, it has to give you some advantage. Maybe you're able to stop a blitz that's really popular. Maybe you're able to beat a specific coverage, have a bomb, whatever. This year, and mind you, dude, I've looked hard and I've been good at this part of the game for years. I just can't find an advantage of a lot of these off-meta offenses. And that could change at any given point. It could change at any given patch. It could change. But up to this point, I and really nobody else in the competitive scene has been able to. There was the empty tray stack that you saw, Sickness run, the K-Mac ran it as well. That did well. And that was off meta. I'll give that credit. That was off meta in a large part, though. It was revolving around a big part of being agging, which isn't great. Defensively, I don't know if we've seen zones be worse than they are right now. Zones, man, I don't even know. It's like a reaction thing, right? But it's also just like where are they? Like, I'm dead ass, bro. I'll be having cloud flats from my corners, right? Not even from the interior where they can get outflanked. From like a cover two that's getting outflanked to this. I'm like, what the? Like, how the are we doing this, dude? And right now they have an issue. So there's like a debate, right? Or not a debate, but like here's food for thought here. Let's say you have a 20-yard cloud flat, right? You set your zone drops to 20. Should he play a corner at 17 yards? There's an argument for and against that, whatever. Right now, if you have him set to 20, he won't play. Like, he's not playing 20, 19, 21. He might defend 20. Like, seriously, he might defend a 20-yard corner, but he's not defending anything else. It's like, holy jeez, man. Oh, my gosh. I do think a huge issue behind that, though, and I've hated this ability since it first came out. I really have. Is Gunslinger, or rather, it used to be Gunslinger. Now it's Pass Lead Elite is the ability everyone's using, where the ball just travels too fast for the defense to be able to react. Literally, the ball travels too fast for zones to be able to react. It's just too fast. There's nothing around it. And the thing is, this year, we passed. The reason the game was good at the beginning, and one of the big reasons, was that we passed without Gunslinger, or without Pass Lead Elite. We were fine. We were able to make do. And I think there is skill gap in that, too, because right now you can throw anything against everything, and it's fine. And the other issue on top of that is that you see people who are getting stops. They're not getting consistent stops. They're getting stops off of there are very few skill-gapped stops right now. Users are totally non-existent. If you're getting lurked right now consistently, I mean, maybe like one or two, it's whatever. But if you're getting consistently lurked, dude, you're doing something wrong. Like, you just are. Lurks have never been worse in the game, in my opinion. I think they're so bad. And mind you, that while, yes, there shouldn't be crazy, unrealistic, jerking back and forth, up and down, giggity type stuff, there also should be skill gap to a user. You see a lot of guys, someone who comes to mind who had a really good user throughout when I've played Madden is Clef. Watching Clef's user in this past tournament, it was like it was just another user. Like, it was just another guy. And it's like, dang, dude. And then on top of that, with a man coverage meta that has inconsistent man-beating routes, as a user on defense, you don't even know where to defend because you don't know what route's going to get open this play. So on defense, one of the most skill gap things is identifying route combinations, route trees, and being able to get to the open area of your defense with your user. You can't even do that this year. And I know one of the reasons I hate that, it's a bunch of inconsistencies and guessing game, whatever, which I think is bad. But also, the way I teach defense is setting up a specific defense and then knowing where that weakness is and going to it and defending it. That's how I teach defense. That's how I play defense. I love that style of defense because I feel like I have the ball in my court in that case. And I mess up a lot when I would do it. But the fact of the matter is stay that I have the ball in my court, and a lot of times routes getting open were on me as a user, which is awesome. That's how it should be. Right now, I mean, I run man coverage that got open against your man coverage. Sorry, it just sucks. Man coverage also leads to more pay to play for obvious reasons, right? If my man's bigger, stronger, faster, smarter than your man, I'm gonna win more often than not. Zone coverage metas don't struggle with that as often. Last year, I would do a ton of low overall team challenges on my main channel, Civil, and those just really aren't possible anymore because of that. And I mean, that's a frustrating thing, obviously, in and of itself. I do think the idea though of passive elite being really bad for the game is not harped on enough. I am very big on that. Ooh, I don't know what just happened to my. Huh. I am really, really big on that. I think it's so bad for the game. And I really do think I was playing NCAA 14 and gun bunch tight end, for example, has the play mesh post from bunch in it. Why doesn't it have it anymore? And that's one example that I just noticed, by the way. I'm not saying that one specifically, but I'm like, why take that out? Bunch, by the way, in NCAA 14 has all and more plays than it has right now. And they wonder, like, whereas something like bunch, like mesh post got taken out for why? You're telling me, like, there's no, like, they're not based, like, they are loosely based on what NFL teams are running. Loosely, and that is being generous. That is being so generous to them. And there's a billion different examples of that. I don't want to harp on a bunch of, like, it's just one I noticed because that's the formation I've ran. It's so weird, man. It's so weird. Yeah. It's a frustrating thing. I am happy, one thing not talked about enough, the run game sucks. I'm a big fan of a bad run game in Madden. Usually that predicts a good Madden. Hasn't. But, you know, again, another nice thing is that you really don't see rolling out with quarterbacks being overpowered. A really good thing, a complaint for many years. That is good, right? There are some good things about Madden, about this Madden. And I would, again, I don't think this is the end-all be-all fix, but I really do think passing elite's gone. We have a little bit of a different game. Seriously, I think we have a little bit of a different game and possibly a more enjoyable game, is my immediate thoughts on that. But I don't know, man. What are you going to do about it, boys? We have a tournament coming up this weekend we'll be playing in. And, yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Hey, you made it to the end of the video, meaning that you probably enjoyed it. If you did, check out this one right here. You're going to like it even more. Or consider going in the description and check out my website, civil.gg. Learn how I play the game of John Madden football. All right? See you in the next one.